Hi everyone, this is Rio on Paper. I hope you're doing well. We are fast approaching the midway point of the year. Now, you may not really want to think about that because what even is time anymore? But as we do, I see a lot of new journal setups and new planner setups in the planner community because especially with people using some sort of AVEC system where you have one planner for January to June and then one for July to December, you get to set up a new planner either now or pretty soon, which is very exciting. And that always fills me with that sort of a feeling of wanting to reflect a bit on my system. How has it been going for the first half year and what changes do I want to make going forward? And of course, if you're in the planner community as well, it won't be a surprise to you that we are also getting closer to new release season where a lot of smaller companies will start taking pre-orders soon, and bigger companies such as Hobonichi usually reveal their lineup in August and then have their sales for the 2025 lineup in September. So I think this is a really good time to just think about that and also think about 2025 for a bit. Not too much because, we're still very, very much in 2024. But I don't know about you, but I'm always looking for the sort of perfect system and trying to figure out what that looks like for me. So let's do a quick recap of how I've been using my planners in the first 6 months and then look forward and see what changes are on the horizon. So I've been using this one. Let's put everything to the side. There we go. I've been using this one, the Hobonichi 5-year Techo, for gratitude journaling and just keeping track of, highlights or just some quick notes about the day. Very, very short entries. There's just a little space for every day. The right-hand page is empty, which I actually quite like because that way I can use that page for different things. I don't use it every day with the idea that I'm going through this book 5 times because it will last me 5 years. So it's okay if the right-hand pages are not filled at all by the end of this year. I enjoy writing things down, like what music did I listen to today, or a quote that I heard, or maybe just some nice lettering with a fountain pen nib that I'm not that familiar with. I recently got a 2.0 stub. Is it a 2.0 or 1.0? I don't know, it's a very chunky stub nib for the Sailor Hokoro. That's so much fun to just play around with and, just use some ink on the page and not really care too much about a specific format for each day. This planner journal, no, it's more like a journal. This journal will definitely come with me to the next half year and hopefully 4 years after that. Works fine, nothing I really want to change. The cover is by Natsume Handmade on Etsy and I still love it. It makes me smile every time I look at it, which has been for, 170 days or so until now, and still makes me very happy. It's been holding up great. It fits the chunky planner very well. So yeah, no changes here. This one passed the test of time. Unlike my beautiful Hobonichi Weeks Mega Media Journal, I set this up at the end of last year thinking that I was going to log all of the media I consume, whether that is books, series, like shows, movies, music I listen to, all of the good stuff, and journal about it, track my progress through specific seasons, do little review spreads. And it was just too much space for what I actually enjoy doing on a daily basis. So I have put this one to the side with pain in my heart because I love how this looks and this may still be my favorite planner ever in terms of the decoration, and it's so cute. It's so cute. But I've moved the elements that I liked doing in this planner, I've moved to this one. This is the Common Planner N1, the sort of big cousin of the big brother of the hobonichi weeks in terms of its size. This is a TN regular size, but it has the weeks layout, which means horizontal week on the left and then a blank page on the right. I have enjoyed using this, and I use it daily. However, I am often left with quite a bit of empty space, in part because I don't really like... I kind of struggle with this type of layout, even though I absolutely love how horizontal weeklies look. And I much prefer a horizontal weekly over a vertical weekly, but I do have more trouble using a horizontal weekly. Does that even make any sense at all? I feel like it doesn't, but that is just the case. So yeah, this is... I'm still kind of on the fence about what to do with this planner for the rest of the year and for next year. I could try and transfer all of the elements that I do in this planner to my big planner that I've kept for last. But there would be some things that I can't really put in there, just in terms of space. And I don't know, this one is just also easier to take with me because it's smaller and lighter, which is another thing that the other one doesn't have. So I'm not really sure yet. And then we have this one, the Common Planner A5 4-year version. And this is a chunky one, and it has monthlies for the entire year, weeklies, vertical weeklies for the entire year. Let's give you an example. Let's see, vertical weeklies, and then a ton of empty notes pages. 369 to be precise. And I've talked about this before on the channel, but I sometimes kind of struggle with filling up the daily pages, and that is because I only use the daily pages for journaling. And I figure that I don't really journal that much on a daily basis. I think half a page, like half a column, like just half a page, aka one column, would be perfect. So that is kind of what I'm aiming for next year, trying to find something that matches that description a bit better and that will leave me with less empty space. And another thing is that I currently use these weekly pages for planning. So this is where sort of my to-do list lives. And I keep struggling between, wanting to balance day-specific tasks on the one hand, appointments, things that I know I have to do on a specific day, tracking sort of daily stuff that also lives in the front of my planner, but that I just need sort of a daily reminder that these are things that I have to do today. And then also just lists of specific projects with their respective to-dos. So I've been sort of puzzling and trying to shift things around and thinking about what kind of things would I need for my system to bring me another step closer to planner peace, which is sort of the elusive thing most of us are looking for. And I think that on the one hand, I need less space for journaling so that I get the sort of satisfaction of filling up entire pages without the pressure of having to fill one entire page a day. So that is one sort of requirement for at least for next year's book. For now, I can just live with what I have, obviously, and just use this. But for next year, I would like something with a little less space. For example, half a page for journaling each day. And I would like to keep my journaling and my planning separate. Right now, there's sort of a bit of both going on. This one has, for example, my media log, which means that it has a bit of memory keeping, which is closer to journaling in my opinion. And this one has a bit of planning, and this one has a bit of planning. And I would like for both planners to have a more separate, distinct functions. So what I was thinking is, for planning, finding something where I can write down my day-specific tasks and my appointments, and then have plenty of space to make to-do lists for specific projects, and then sort of distill that information into a to-do list for a specific day. So sort of this kind of weekly dashboard kind of setting, and then with a couple of pages after that or somewhere else in the planner, ideally something predated, because that is just something I prefer. I've learned over time that is something I do not really like about the Common Planner, that the daily pages are not predated. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so something that allows me to make this sort of weekly dashboard and then have to-do lists for the day. And the planner that could do that, I think, is maybe the Paper Test Designs B6 yearly planner. It's a little bit smaller than this one. Honestly, I wouldn't really mind whether it is an A5 or B6 planner, except that I have a nicer A5 cover, but those are kind of details, I think. I don't want to let that be the deciding factor. And what the Paper Test Designs planner has that I really like is that it has a very small section for day-specific tasks, events, appointments, whatever you want to put in there in one column. And then it has another column that you can use for whatever. And then it has 7 pages, so one for each day for that week. So you get sort of the entire package that is 1 week. You get that together, pages that are in order, and then you move on to the next week. And I think that could really work well, having everything close together, allowing for example, one big weekly dashboard, and then I would have 6 pages left, which is probably enough. I could maybe do 5 days and then the weekend, or I could skip a day where I know that I'll be really busy with work or something else, so I don't really have time for a personal to-do list anyway. Or I could just, not predate the pages and just start the day whenever I feel like it. And then I could just basically use as much space as I need, and then whatever space is left I could use for a bit of forward planning or a bit of reflection on the week. So I think that planner could work really well. It also has Tomoe River papers. It has all the things we know and love. But I have never tried it. I have never actually seen one in real life, held one, tried one. So I might try replicating some of these spreads and see if that is something that could work. And then for the journaling, I'm a little bit more certain about what I would like, and that is probably the Take a Note A5 planner, which has a gorgeous design. First and foremost, it's absolutely beautiful. But then it also has this very nice layout where it's kind of similar to the Paper Test Designs in that it has one column with every day of the week, and then it has a column, not a page, but a column for every day. So I could fill one column with journaling for the day, leave a bit of room for decoration. I could maybe use the day-specific things for a highlight, a bit of gratitude journaling, or maybe track my media there, which is something that I do in the Common Planner and One now, but that I would probably want to transfer in sort of the journaling, memory keeping book next year so that I don't need this planner anymore. And I think that combination of two planners that I have not tried before, I think that would work really well. However, as I don't really know these books very well and I haven't tried them, I would actually love the chance to try them out before that. And I've been looking for those online and I cannot find them. Obviously, they are January start, so whoever still would have a planner left that is unused has 6 a month of pages that are basically sort of unusable. Of course, you can redate anything and just write on the paper, but in terms of the yearly planning, those pages have already sort of passed their due date. So most vendors, most stores will have put them on sale and sold them by now. But just throwing this out there, if anyone has either the Take a Note A5 or the Paper Test Designs B6 yearly planner, has them unused and wants to sell them, send me a message. Hit me up, because I would love to try them before I make any purchases for next year. But it's also quite late in the year, so I'm not really having my hopes up for that. So yeah, that is basically my idea for the next year. For the next 6 months, I can totally work with this system. This system has its flaws, but it's gotten me through the first 6 months and it will get me through the next 6 months. It's just that, after a while in the same system, you start to see its flaws and where you are maybe wasting time by having duplicate information, but you kind of need the duplicate information for the system to work. I don't know. It's not necessarily that I am craving just something new or a change, which has happened before, and that's okay sometimes, but I'm trying to approach this from a very objective standpoint and just really analyzing what works, what has worked in the past, and what do I know doesn't work for me. So I feel like with every year, I'm getting a little bit closer to planner peace and knowing what I want, what I need for my planning to work. Even though our needs change as well, so maybe what works this year won't work next year. I've had that before as well. I used to swear that I would never have an A5 planner and I would always stick to A6 until I started actually, journaling for a bit and realizing that using one A6 page for both planning and journaling doesn't really work unless you either have like very little to do or to say, or your handwriting is even tinier than mine. Or you just don't like decoration at all, because that's also something that factors in, is that I like to use big stickers, so those take up considerable amount of space as well. Yeah, so I think that is it for this video. No major changes for the next 6 months, unless I could somehow get my hands on either the Take a Note or the Paper Test Designs B6, or maybe both. That would be amazing, but no, we're not getting our hopes up. We're not doing it. So another thing I might try, as I have plenty of space left in the back, is sort of replicate some of the layouts, either for the Take a Note or the Paper Test Designs. It's not exactly the same dimensions for the B6 at least, but I could definitely make that work. And I have so much space left in this. I should probably just try and do that instead. And I'm also a bit torn because I really, really like the Common Planner, and I like what Catherine has done with her designs, and I absolutely love the very minimalistic, what did I do here? The very minimalistic design elements and just how clean and simple the planner looks. I really enjoy that. But there are just some things about it that don't work. But then another thing that might happen is that, brands such as sterlingink announce their new lineup for next year, and there is something in there that might exactly fit the bill. That is definitely a possibility. I know that Catherine has been dabbling a bit more in dated planners, because that is what she has released, I think, like just last month or so. There was one specific type of dated planner that had at least like a page. It was sort of undated but daily. So it had like January 1st, but it didn't say like the year. So you can use it for every year. I think that's kind of nifty. But maybe there will be something dated in the lineup for next year that could be a good contender, for example, for the Paper Test Designs planner. We'll just have to see and wait, I think. And I will definitely keep you updated when, releases start coming out and being announced, and just on the things that are out there. Let me know if you have any thoughts on my system, if there are any sort of flaws in my reasoning, and you think that maybe there is something I'm overlooking, or maybe there is a planner that I have not heard of that does exactly what I've described that I would like to see in a planner. Because obviously, like, I know a lot of these planners from YouTube, from Instagram, from people sharing what they use, but I don't really have a complete overview of what exists out there and good comparisons. So if you have any thoughts about that, just feel free to share them. And for now, thank you for listening to my ramblings about planners, and I hope you have a great day. See ya. Bye.